Welcome, everyone. I'm excited to start this journey with you today. On this first slide, we see the title Copyright 2026 by Continuous Learning Development. We're going to explore an important hadith that highlights the concept of sincere advice, or nasiha, in our faith. This hadith is narrated by Abu Ruqya Tamim ibn Oz. May Allah be pleased with him, and the Prophet, peace be upon him, emphasizes that the religion is nasiha, sincerity and good advice. He explains that this advice should be directed to Allah, His book, His messenger, the leaders of the Muslims, and the common folk of the Muslims. In the upcoming slides, we will delve deeper into the meaning of this hadith and its relevance to our daily lives. But for now, let's keep this foundational idea in mind as we move forward. Welcome to this slide. Here, we see that the word nasiha is quite comprehensive. It embodies every kind of virtue and the desire for all forms of goodness. It's a powerful concept that captures the essence of sincere advice and moral excellence. Now, let's look at its two basic linguistic meanings. First, nasiha means to clean, purify, or improve something by removing all unwanted elements. Think of it like purifying honey, removing impurities to make it pure and sweet. This highlights the idea of cleansing or refining oneself or others. Second, nasiha also means to unite or join something that is scattered or separated. Imagine sewing a garment, bringing the pieces together to make it whole again. This aspect emphasizes harmony and bringing things into alignment. Understanding these meanings helps us grasp the deeper significance of nasiha. It's about purification and unity, both essential for personal growth and community cohesion. Throughout this presentation, we'll see how these ideas are interconnected and vital for embodying virtue in our lives. Welcome to Slide 3. Today, we explore the concept of nasiha, which means advising and guiding others toward what is best for them, both in this world and the hereafter. It's a fundamental aspect of our faith and daily interactions. Historically, the role of giving nasiha was primarily the duty of the messengers. They were sent to guide humanity, to remind us of what is right, and to steer us away from what's wrong. The Quran emphasizes this by describing many of the prophets as fulfilling this role of offering sincere advice and guidance. Their example teaches us the importance of sincere nasiha in our lives, whether in personal relationships or in our broader community. Connecting this to our overall theme, giving nasiha is a vital way to uphold righteousness, foster trust, and help each other grow closer to Allah. It's about sincere concern and love for others, encouraging them toward the best path. When asked to whom this nasiha, or sincere advice, is due, the Prophet, peace be upon him, first said, "To Allah." This reminds us that our primary obligation is to Allah Himself. Making nasiha to Allah means fulfilling our duties to Him in the best possible way, which is known as ihsan, or excellence. This is essential because a complete and perfect nasiha to Allah cannot be achieved without striving for ihsan. And what does that mean for us? It should be a goal for every Muslim to serve Allah with sincerity, love, and dedication. But it's important to understand that this love for Allah must be genuine. It requires us to love what He has ordered, like prayer, charity, and good character, and to want to get closer to Him. We do this not only through obligatory acts, but also by voluntary good deeds, extra prayers, fasting, helping others, and by avoiding what He has forbidden or disliked. So ultimately, our relationship with Allah is about balance, fulfilling our duties, loving what pleases Him, and constantly striving to draw nearer through both obligatory and voluntary acts. This mindset keeps us focused and motivated on our spiritual journey, aligning with the overall theme of sincere devotion and continuous growth in faith. Next, the Prophet, peace be upon him, said, "To his book." Here, his book refers to the entire class of revelation, not just the Quran. This means it includes all the scriptures that were revealed before, as well as the Quran itself, which was revealed to Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Understanding this is important because our nasiha, or sincere advice, to the Book of Allah involves several key points. First, we must believe that the Quran is from Allah, that it is His speech, and that it is uncreated, meaning it exists beyond time and space, unlike human words. It's crucial to recognize that the Quran is unique and not comparable to the words of humans. But belief alone isn't enough. Complete nasiha also means engaging with the Quran actively. We should read and recite it properly according to our ability, striving to understand its meanings. We should apply its teachings in our daily lives and reflect on its lessons, admonitions, parables, and stories. Additionally, part of this nasiha is calling others to believe in and uphold the Quran. Sharing its message and encouraging others to turn to it is an essential aspect of loving and honoring the Book of Allah. All these efforts, believing, reading, applying, studying, and calling others, are interconnected. They form a comprehensive approach to showing our respect and commitment to the Quran, which is central to our faith and practice. Today, I want to talk about the key aspects of nasiha, or sincere advice, to the Prophet, peace be upon him. This includes believing in his message and in all that he brought, recognizing that everything he conveyed was divinely inspired. It also means obeying him, helping and defending him, and respecting his honor and status. These are fundamental to showing true loyalty and love for the Prophet. But perhaps the most important part of this nasiha is accepting the Prophet, peace be upon him, as the true leader and the final human authority in matters of religion. He is the only human whose guidance is final and binding. Everyone else's opinions come after his. This means that if a Muslim follows another person's opinion that contradicts what the messenger has said, then that person isn't fulfilling the true essence of nasiha. Because our deen is based on the Prophet's guidance, we must always prioritize his teachings above all. If we truly want to honor his role and follow the path he laid out, we need to accept him as the ultimate authority. Remember, the message here is to keep our loyalty and obedience directed rightly, and to ensure that our actions align with what he taught. So, when we speak of nasiha to the Prophet, it's about complete trust, unwavering obedience, and recognizing his position as the final and most authentic source of guidance for us all. Today, I want to talk about the different kinds of leaders among Muslims. There are essentially two categories. The first are the religious leaders or scholars, and the second are the worldly leaders or rulers. When we look at the wording of this hadith, it clearly refers to both types of leaders, emphasizing that our responsibilities extend to all those in leadership positions over us. Making nasiha, or sincere advice, to these leaders is very important. It involves supporting them when they are on the right path, obeying them in what is right, and gently reminding them if they make a mistake or forget something important. It's also essential to be patient with them, even when their actions or decisions are not what we personally like. Furthermore, making jihad with them means standing firm alongside them in righteousness, rather than revolting against their proper authority. And of course, we should pray for their guidance and piety, because their moral and spiritual well-being ultimately benefits the entire Muslim community. This slide reminds us that leadership is a trust from Allah, and our role as followers is to support our leaders in a constructive and respectful manner, always aiming for the collective good of the Muslims. The Muslim scholars are truly leaders within our community. They play a vital role because they guide others to understand and follow the teachings of the Quran and Sunnah. Their deep understanding helps them know exactly how the Sharia should be applied in our daily lives. This makes their position incredibly important for the well-being and spiritual growth of the whole community. Because of this, it is essential that we approach them with respect and sincerity, offering proper nasiha, advice and encouragement to support their efforts. When we make nasiha to scholars, we acknowledge their crucial role and help foster a respectful and supportive environment. Remember, the way we communicate with them should always be done thoughtfully, recognizing their knowledge and leadership. This aligns with our overall goal of strengthening our community through mutual respect and understanding. When we talk about nasiha to the common folk of the Muslims, we're focusing on guiding them towards what is truly beneficial for them, both in this world and the hereafter. It's about ensuring we do no harm and instead help them grow in their understanding of their religion and other areas they might be unaware of. Teaching them with kindness and patience is essential, as is helping them when they need it. Part of nasiha is also about concealing their faults, showing humility and compassion, and encouraging them to do good while working to eradicate evil within the community. We should also remember to show mercy to the young, respecting the elders, and recognizing that their joy and sadness should affect us. If they are happy, we rejoice with them. If they are struggling or sad, we should feel sorrow for them. Ultimately, nasiha to the common folk is rooted in genuine care and love, aiming to strengthen the community and promote righteousness. This aligns with our overall goal of fostering unity, understanding, and piety among all Muslims. Let's take a moment to explore the difference between nasiha and shamming, or embarrassing someone. An important part of nasiha is genuinely advising and guiding one another to improve, which involves honesty and kindness. When we speak to someone about something they dislike or need to change, it's often done with good intentions and respect. However, the line is crossed when that same conversation turns into shamming or humiliating. The key difference lies in the intention and the manner in which we approach the person. True nasiha is constructive and aimed at helping, not tearing down. Shamming, on the other hand, is about humiliation and can cause harm and resentment. Connecting this to our overall theme, it's crucial to remember that advising others should always be done with sincerity, humility, and respect. By doing so, we uphold the dignity of others and foster a positive environment for growth and change. It must be understood that mentioning another Muslim's faults or sins, simply to blame, ridicule, or shame him is forbidden. However, if there is some overriding benefit in mentioning such faults, then it can be either recommended or obligatory to mention them. It is a must to refute that evil, even if it is done publicly, as long as the goal is not to ridicule them, but to correct their mistakes and stop their evil. Now, let's talk about the difference between nasiha and shamming, or embarrassing another person. Nasiha, or sincere advice, aims to help and correct in a respectful and compassionate way. It's about caring for the person's betterment, not humiliating them. Shamming or embarrassing, on the other hand, is about causing harm, humiliation, or ridiculing someone, which is not acceptable. The key point is that our intention matters greatly. Nasiha is motivated by concern and love, while shamming is driven by anger or malice. So, when addressing faults, always ensure your goal is to guide and support, not to shame or embarrass. This distinction is crucial in maintaining the dignity of others while promoting righteousness. And remember, the overall theme here is to uphold kindness, compassion, and constructive correction in our interactions. Certainly, here is the word-by-word narration script for slide 12. Copyright 2026 by Continuous Learning Development. It is noted that when advising others, it is best to do it in private. If one does it publicly, sometimes it can be a case of belittling or insulting the other person. This is especially the case if one Muslim is trying to advise the other about some wrong the person is committing. A Muslim who is making nasiha wants what is best. It is not his intention to harm or injure his brother Muslim. Furthermore, no Muslim would like evil or sins to be announced publicly and spread about. Hence, he will do his best to advise his brother privately and in the best manner. The difference between nasiha and shamming, or embarrassing another person. Every Muslim should reflect on this hadith, where the Prophet, peace be upon him, described our religion with just one word, nasiha. This highlights how central sincerity and sincere advice are to our faith. Islam, at its core, is about genuine concern and good counsel. It's important to understand that this nasiha, this sincere advice, applies to Allah, His book, the Messenger, our leaders, and all fellow Muslims. And the key point is that it's not just a one-time thing, it's a continuous part of our lives. Every moment we live, we are called to uphold this quality of nasiha. Whether we're in prayer, in our interactions, or in our daily decisions, we should always be mindful of offering sincere advice and maintaining good intentions. This is what keeps our faith alive and vibrant. It's about constantly striving to improve ourselves and help others in a sincere, caring way. So, as we move forward in this presentation, remember that the essence of Islam is rooted in this concept of nasiha, sincere concern and advice, which should influence every aspect of our lives. As we come to the final slide, I want to highlight an essential aspect of this religion, nasiha. This isn't just a word, it's the very essence of our faith. Nasiha means having a sincere feeling of well-wishing for others, truly caring about their best interests. It's about wanting what's best for people, and then acting in a way that reflects that desire. When we practice genuine nasiha, it fosters a deep sense of brotherhood among Muslims. It's a core component that unites us and strengthens our bonds. Now nasiha should be directed towards Allah, His book, His messengers, our leaders, and fellow Muslims. It's about offering sincere advice, encouragement, and support across all these areas. Remember the key takeaway from the Hadith. True nasiha is foundational to our faith. It's what helps us build a community rooted in love, respect, and sincere concern for one another. So, let's keep this principle at the heart of everything we do, because it truly embodies the spirit of Islam. This slide highlights an important hadith that centers on the concept of al-nasiha, which can be translated as advice or sincerity. However, I want to emphasize that the true meaning goes beyond just advice. It's about sincerity. The Prophet, tells us that the entire religion is encompassed within the idea of nasiha, meaning that sincerity is the foundation of our faith. He also mentions that the main pillar of religion and its soundness really rests on this concept of sincerity. When we talk about nasiha, it's not simply giving advice, it's about genuine sincerity in our actions and intentions. It's important to understand that this idea of sincerity is central to our faith, because it affects how we relate to Allah, to others, and to ourselves. In essence, the entire religion can be seen as rooted in sincerity and truthfulness. So, as we reflect on this hadith, remember that cultivating sincerity is not just a noble trait, but the very core of practicing Islam correctly and sincerely. This connects deeply to our overall theme of continuous learning and self-improvement in our faith journey.